I never thought I'd have to question the woman I loved. I used to wake up before dawn, tie my shoes, and head out to the office, leaving Aisha asleep in our bed. "Don't work too hard," she'd whisper half asleep, the blankets tangled. Around her, I'd smile and kiss her forehead. "I'll be back for dinner," I'd promise, though I knew it might be later than I said. I wanted to give her everything: comfort, security, happiness. "You really work too much," Hamza said, one night pouring coffee into my mug. "One day she'll get tired of waiting." "Hamza, stop it," I said, shaking my head. "Aisha knows why I work. He wants this life too." He raised his eyebrows. "Just saying, man. Don't blind yourself with loyalty," I laughed. But deep down I thought maybe he was overreacting. He'd always been around us, like a brother, a friend who'd seen everything. I trusted him. On weekends, we'd sit together in the living room. Aisha would play her favorite music, hum along, and we'd sip tea. "You two are ridiculous," she'd say, giggling when Hamza and I argued about football. "Ridiculous?" I'd grin. "We're perfectly normal." She'd roll her eyes but smile, and I'd feel warm inside. I thought that was the perfect life: laughter, love, and quiet companionship. But little things started changing. At first I ignored them. "Who was that on the phone?" I asked once after hearing her giggle late at night. "Just an old friend," she said, tucking her hair. Behind her ear, nothing important. I believed her. I didn't want to think otherwise. Love meant trust, right? Then there were the nights she'd come home late, claiming traffic or work. I'd wait, pretending to be asleep when she finally crept into bed. "Long day?" I'd whisper. She'd nod, tired. "Yeah, really long." But I started noticing subtle things. Her phone would light up with messages she hid too quickly. A smile she reserved for someone I couldn't see. Calls she would rush through. One morning, I poured coffee for both of us, and she seemed distant. "Aisha, everything okay?" "I'm fine," she said, barely meeting my eyes. "Just tired." "Are you sure? You seem different." I said I'm fine. She snapped gently, softer than anger, but sharper than usual. I nodded, deciding not to push. I loved her. I trusted her. I chose to trust her. Hamza noticed too. "You're noticing things, aren't you?" he asked casually one afternoon. "Not really," I said, avoiding his gaze. "Come on, I can tell. You worry too much? She's happy, man. Don't overthink." I nodded again, but his words didn't calm me. Something felt off, though I couldn't put my finger on it. We continued our routines. Sunday mornings, she'd make pancakes while I washed the dishes. "You're always in the way," she'd joke, sliding a plate onto the table. "I'm helping," I'd protest. "You're helping by standing there." Judging my pancake technique, she'd laugh. I loved these moments. I thought nothing could break them until that one afternoon. I'd finished work early, decided to surprise her. The apartment smelled faintly of her perfume, her laughter floating through the hallway. I froze at the sound. It wasn't the laugh. I knew it was lighter, playful in a way she never laughed with me. The cadence, the tone, everything felt wrong. I moved closer to the living room and saw her phone pressed to her ear, her eyes sparkling with a secret I didn't belong to. "You're unbelievable," she said. And I caught a glimpse of her smile that wasn't meant for me. I stood frozen, my hand on the doorframe. Aisha didn't notice me. My chest tightened. I wanted to step in, to ask, to shout, but I didn't. I only listened, heart sinking with each word I didn't hear from me. That moment lasted forever. And in those few minutes, the perfect life I thought I had began to crack. I left quietly that day, pretending nothing happened. I told myself it was probably nothing. Maybe a friend, maybe just laughter. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and I didn't know it yet, but my world was about to shatter. "CHP2? I'm going to my cousin's," Aisha said casually as she grabbed her bag. "Again?" I asked, trying not to sound annoyed. "You were just there last week." I know, she said, brushing past me, her phone already in hand. "It's just for a little while. Don't wait up," I nodded. "Okay, be careful." As soon as she left, something in my chest tightened. I couldn't explain it. Call it instinct. Call it paranoia. I grabbed my jacket, slipped on my shoes, and followed her quietly. My heart pounded like a drum with each step. She didn't take the usual route to her cousin's. She turned onto a street I didn't recognize, then stopped in front of a hotel. My stomach dropped. What is she doing? I whispered to myself. I waited across the street, my phone trembling in my hand. She went inside then. I saw him, Hamza. My best friend. The one I trusted with everything. They weren't just talking. They were holding each other, laughing, smiling in a way that should have been mine. I gripped my phone tighter and started recording. My legs felt like lead, my chest heavy, and my vision blurred with disbelief. Hamza, what the hell? I whispered, though they couldn't hear me. She's amazing. Hamza murmured as he brushed her hair behind her ear. My hands shook. My world, everything I thought I knew, shattered. I couldn't move. I wanted to run in, yell, scream, hit something. But I couldn't. I could only watch as they kissed. And in that moment, something inside me died. I entered the hotel quietly, trying to find the courage to confront them. I reached the door, knocked softly, my voice trembling. Aisha, Hamza. We need to talk, I said. They turned, startled. For a second, I saw nothing but shock on their faces. Then, Aisha smiled. Not the smile she reserved for me, the real one, the one I was never supposed to see. Surprise, she said softly. You caught us. I felt my knees weaken. How could you do this? My voice broke. Hamza, you are my friend. My brother. Hamza looked at me with no guilt, only a smug, calm expression. I told you once, you're too weak, too scared to give her what she wanted. I gave her happiness. You couldn't. My hands clenched into fists. Happiness? You call this happiness? This betrayal? You're disgusting. Aisha laughed lightly. A sound that used to make me warm now felt like ice. I stopped loving you 2 years ago. I stayed because, well, convenience, comfort, and yes, maybe the money. I staggered back. My mind couldn't process her words. 2 years. 2 years of lies. 2 years of pretending. My heart was a grenade and she had just pulled the pin. 2 years, I whispered. Do you know what that means?
Do you know what?
I do, she said, her voice calm, almost to calm. I'm sorry you found out like this. I guess I'm relieved. Felt nausea rise. My throat burned. Relieved. Yes, because now it's over, she said, looking at Hamza. With something that used to be tenderness, I realized it wasn't love for me. Not for years. You think you can just tell me like it's nothing? Shouted, tears blurring my vision. Do you know what you've done to me? Hamza shrugged. I said it before. You couldn't make her happy. Don't blame me for trying. My legs shook. I trusted you. Both of you. I gave you everything. You gave me stability, Aisha said softly. But you didn't give me excitement, passion. Hamza did. I wanted to scream, to smash something, to break them. But my body refused to obey. My soul felt hollow. I turned and walked out. Not because I wanted to run away, but because I couldn't stand to see them for another second. My world had been ripped from me. I felt dead inside. I wandered the streets, the cool night air hitting my face. I didn't care about where I was. My phone buzzed with messages I couldn't read. I had no answers, only the image of them together etched into my mind. I found a bench and sat, staring at my hands. Why? I whispered to the empty street. Why them? Why now? I hugged my phone close. My heart was broken, but I felt numb. Every memory of us together, her smile, her laughter. The way she said my name felt poisoned. I stayed there until the city slept, until the world moved on without me. I finally curled up, leaning against the cold metal of the bench, and closed my eyes. I wasn't safe anywhere anymore. My home was gone. My trust was gone. And a part of me wondered if the man I used to be had died along with it. I went home the next morning with a heart that felt like broken glass. Aisha was in the kitchen making tea like nothing had happened. She looked calm, peaceful. That hurt more than anything. Sit down, I said. She glanced at me. You look terrible. Sit down, I repeated. She sighed and sat across from me. So what now? What now? I laughed bitterly. You tell me. 2 years, Aisha. 2 years of lies. She folded her arms. You already know. I said, say it to my face. She looked away. I was with Hamza for 2 years. My chest tightened. While I worked myself to death for you. While I paid every bill. Yes. While I trusted you with my life. She stayed quiet, answered me. I snapped. She met my eyes. Yes, I swallowed hard. Why? She exhaled slowly. Because I stopped loving you. When? I asked. 2 years ago? And you stayed? I stayed because you were stable. You paid the bills. You gave me a comfortable life. So I was just your wallet? She didn't deny it. And Hamza. She hesitated, then said softly, he was my real love. Sentence cut deeper than any knife. I stood up. You used me. You let yourself be used, she replied. I stared at her. You don't even sound sorry. I'm tired of pretending, she said. You wanted loyalty. I wanted passion. I grabbed my phone. Your sister knew, didn't she? She went quiet. Santa knew, I said. She didn't want to hurt you. She already did. I walked out and went straight to Santa's house. She opened the door and froze when she saw me. You knew, I said. Sana looked down. I begged her to stop. You watched me smile at family dinners knowing I was a fool. Thought she'd leave you. You let me live a lie. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry. I turned away. Sorry came too late. I called my cousin Fahad and met him at a cafe. You knew too, I said. He looked uncomfortable. It wasn't my place. You're my blood. I didn't want drama. I slammed my hand on the table. You let my wife sleep with my best friend. Brother, just forgive and move on, he said. What's done is done. I stood up. I have no family left. I went back home and packed a bag. Aisha watched me. Where are you going? I'm filing for divorce. She nodded. Good. You're not even fighting. She shrugged. I want my freedom. You want my money? I said. She smiled faintly. That too. The lawyer was quick. 2 quick papers. Signatures. Cold words. She took the house. She took half my savings. She took everything we built. She walked out with her suitcase and didn't look back. I moved into a tiny rented room with cracked walls and a leaking tap. I put my suitcase in the corner and sat on the floor. This is my life now, I whispered. The first night, I drank until I couldn't feel my hands. The second night, I drank until I forgot her face. The third night, I drank until I threw up and cried. My phone buzzed with messages from people who pretended to care. Stay strong. You'll be okay. Time heals. I wanted to smash my phone. I stopped eating. I stopped answering calls. I stopped caring. I went to work drunk. My manager pulled me aside. You're not focused. My wife left me, I said. That's not an excuse, he replied. I laughed. Then fire me. He did. I walked home in the rain with no umbrella and no job. I sat on my bed and stared at the ceiling. What am I now? I whispered. No answer. I checked my bank account. Almost empty. I checked my contacts. Everyone gone? I checked my heart. Nothing left. I held my phone and scrolled through old photos. Her smile, our wedding, our home. Lies. All lies. I threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall and fell beside my suitcase. I sat there in silence. I gave you my life, I said to the empty room. The walls didn't respond. I lay down and closed my eyes. I felt like a man with no past and no future. Only pain, only regret, only a name that no longer meant anything. I was alive, but I wasn't living. CHP, for I stared at the ceiling and asked myself why today. The room smelled like old bottles and regret tonight alone, I whispered. Get up, but my body refused again today. I said, you're not done. Then laughed bitterly alone tonight. My phone buzzed, and I ignored every hopeful message tonight. I muttered, end it, then swallowed fear immediately. Tonight alone. The bottle asked another, and I nodded slowly. Tonight alone. I argued, you matter, and answered, no, I don't tonight. I counted cracks and promised myself one last morning tomorrow. I slept sitting up, afraid of my dreams tonight alone. The door creaked and I said, go. Away tonight, please. A voice replied, open it, idiot. It's Rehan tonight here. I blinked and asked, what are you doing here? Are you Hayes? Checking on the man who vanished yesterday, brother? I shrugged and said, I'm busy ruining myself tonight again. He frowned and said, you were never this weak, man. I snapped. People change when love turns poisonous inside me. He stepped inside and said, sit, talk, breathe now, please, I said. There's nothing left to talk about anymore, Rian, he replied. There's everything left if you stand today, brother. I laughed. Stand where? On broken promises? Today, Rehan? Huh, he said. On your feet like before, man, always strong? I asked, you remember who I was? Before all this? He nodded. The guy who never quit ever once before. I whispered. That guy died at a hotel night, Rehan. He shook his head. He's just sleeping, wake him up. I asked, why do you care anymore? Today, Rehan, huh? He smiled. Because brothers drag brothers back home, always together. I sighed. I have nothing to offer you anymore, brother, he said. Offer me effort. I'll offer work tomorrow morning. I hesitated. A job won't fix my heart tonight, Rehan, he replied. Work fixes days. Days fix hearts eventually, man. I looked down and said, I'm tired of failing today, he said. Then succeed once. Start tomorrow early, brother, okay? I nodded and whispered, okay. I'll try tomorrow morning, Rand. The office smelled like coffee. And fresh paper today morning, Rehan said. Meet Zara. Our sharpest mind today. Please smile, I said. Nice to meet you. I'm broken inside today. She laughed. Broken people build the strongest things together always, I asked. Do you judge ruins or help rebuild? Here, she replied, I pass tools. You swing hammers today, buddy. I smiled. I forgot how to smile today, Zara. Sorry. She said, practice now. It's a muscle like courage, man. I worked late and skipped the bar tonight again, thankfully. Rehan said. Proud of you. First day finished strong, brother. Zara added. Come train. Burn the ghosts inside you tonight, I answered. I'm done letting bottles speak for me anymore. The gym echoed with metal and breathing today. Loud, strong, the trainer said. Name and goal. Quickly now, please, man, I said. Name me. You'll rebuild me today, sir, please. He nodded. Start with 10. Then breathe. Steady, now go. I groaned. My arms remember pain well today, sir. Help, Zara said. Pain teaches borders. Strength crosses them always forward, I replied. I'm tired of losing ground every day now. She smiled. And claim it rep by rep today, champ. I finished shaking and said, again, please coach right now. The mirror showed eyes that wanted tomorrow. Badly again today, Rehan texted. Dinner on me. Celebrate tonight, win, brother. Okay, I replied. Make it simple. I'm rebuilding life today now. At the table, Zara asked, what burned you? Inside me, I said. Trust turned into a weapon against me once, she said. Become the wound that hurt you first, I answered. I won't forgive, but I'll grow stronger today. Rehan raised a glass. 2 first steps forward, always, brother. I lifted water to clear mornings ahead now, Rehan Zara added. 2 quiet nights and brave days ahead always. I slept early and dreamed of open roads ahead tomorrow. I woke and said, today, we work together strong now. Rehan replied. Today, you lead your life again, brother. Now Zara smiled. Pain doesn't get the wheel anymore ever again. I nodded. I'm driving forward from here today, onward always. The phone vibrated. And I ignored the past again today. I told myself, breathe, lift, repeat. Rebuild every day now. I promised, no more bottles, only mornings ahead now, me. I said, no more begging, only earning respect again today, I whispered. No more shadows. Only light inside me now. The burn remained, but it fueled my steps forward now. I told Rehan, thank you for the rope today, brother. He said, climb. I'll spot you always, brother, now go, Zara said. Remember? Pain isn't your name ever again, man, I answered. My name is Forward Motion today, always strong. The night waited. I didn't fear it anymore ever. I said tomorrow belongs to my work. Again, me strong, I breathed. I will not be weak ever again today. I stepped forward and chose myself over ashes today always. 2 years passed faster than I expected. I sat in Rehan's office, looking at spreadsheets and emails like a man who finally belonged in a world he'd been afraid of. Everything looks good, Rehan said, leaning back. Expansion is on track, I nodded. We need more clients in the West. Aggressive approach. He smiled. I like the fire in you again. I've always had it, I said, smiling back. I just needed the right stage. Zara walked in, holding a folder. The new hires are ready. You want to meet them now? I'll take a look after lunch, I said, and she nodded, giving me a faint smile. Lunch came, and I went to a small restaurant I liked. I was about to sit when I froze. Aisha, she was there, laughing at something Hamza said. My stomach tightened. She didn't see me, but I saw every expression, every gesture. Hamza looked uneasy, constantly checking over his shoulder. I whispered under my breath, so this is how it feels. Zara nudged me. Everything okay? I forced a smile. Yeah, just memories. I didn't look back. I ordered my food and stayed focused on the conversation with Zara. She asked, do you think about them often? I shook my head. Anymore, I just notice sometimes. Later that week, rumors reached me. Aisha's company is failing, someone said casually at a networking event. Really? I asked, pretending to be surprised. Yeah, she and Hamza overextended. Debts piling up. Clients leaving, the man added. I smiled inside. Karma has its pace, I thought. Zara caught me smiling as we left. Don't gloat, she warned. But remember, karma doesn't rush, but it never forgets. I laughed softly, noted. Back at the office, I signed new contracts with a sense of ease I hadn't felt in years. Rehan clapped me on the shoulder. Look at you, you've changed. I had too, I said. No room for weakness anymore. I went home to my small apartment, but the tiny space no longer sufficed. I needed a new place, a mark of my comeback. I called the realtor. Show me something modern, big enough for a view and quiet. I want to feel like I earned this. Got it, the agent replied. 2 weeks later, I moved into a spacious apartment overlooking the city. I sat by the window and let the wind touch my face. I whispered to myself, this is mine. I earned it. A few days later, I bought my dream car. The salesman looked at me. You've been waiting for this, huh? I have, I said. It's time. Driving through the city streets, the engine roaring beneath me, I felt power, confidence, respect. Every glance from strangers. Every nod, every door held open it. All added to the weight of what I had become. Zara called that evening. Fancy a coffee? You've been working too hard, I agreed. We met at a cafe. She smiled. You're different now. Bitter, not broken, strong. I had to be, I admitted. The old me was too soft, too trusting, laughed. Softly. You're not just strong, you're smart. You let life teach you instead of letting it crush you. I smiled, and look who's been by my side. You didn't run. You didn't judge. You just helped. That's what friends do, she said. We sat quietly for a moment, watching the city move around us. I sipped my coffee and thought about Aisha and Hamza. 2 years ago, they thought they had power over me. Now their names were whispers, their faces fleeting shadows. I had become the man they said I could never be. Remember, Zara said, breaking my thoughts, you don't need to act. The world balances itself sometimes. I nodded. I've learned that. Patience, perseverance, and a bit of revenge. In time, she smirked. Don't get soft now. You're on top. Stay there. I will, I promised. Later that night, parked my car in front of the apartment, stepped out, and looked at the skyline. The city lights reflected in my eyes, and I realized something. I didn't just survive. I thrived. I reclaimed my life, piece by piece. 2 years, I whispered, and look at me now. You thought I'd stay broken, didn't you? Answered, but I didn't need them to. I had my proof, my life, my work, my apartment, my car, everything a testament to my rise. I went inside, poured myself a drink, but I didn't take a sip. I smiled. My thirst wasn't for alcohol anymore. It was for life, for respect, for a future I controlled. And somewhere deep inside, I felt the old fire. The betrayal still burned, yes, but now it was fuel. Fuel to keep climbing, to keep conquering, to keep proving that I was unbreakable. I whispered into the dark apartment, I'm back, and this time, I won't let anyone stop me. Shage P6. I was halfway through dinner when the doorbell rang, frowned at the clock and muttered, Who? Comes this late? I walked to the door and opened it without thinking. Aisha stood there. Her eyes were red. Her makeup was ruined. Her hands were shaking. Please, she said softly. I need to talk to you. My chest tightened. Why are you here? She swallowed. Can I come in? No, I said. Say what you came to say. Tears slid down her face. Hamza left me. I stared at her. That's not my problem. He left me for another woman, she whispered. He took what little money we had left. I crossed my arms. You chose him. Our business collapsed, she continued. We're drowning in debt. Banks are calling. Landlords are threatening. I laughed bitterly. Sounds familiar. She stepped closer. I made the biggest mistake of my life. My hands clenched. You said that 2 years too late. I was stupid, she cried. I thought love meant excitement. I thought passion was everything. And now? I asked coldly. Now I have nothing, she said. I lost everything. I felt my heart pounding. Old pain rose like fire. In my chest, you lost nothing, I said. You traded it. She shook her head. I lost you, I looked at her. You threw me away. She whispered, I didn't know what I was doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. I snapped. You smiled while destroying me. She wiped her tears. Please, help me. I took a step back. Help you. I need money, she said. Just to survive. I don't have anyone else. I remembered the night I slept on a bench with my phone in my hand. I remembered the rain on my face. I remembered her cold eyes in that hotel room. I remembered how she said she stayed for convenience. I said you didn't help me when I had nothing. She fell silent. I begged God for answers while you were laughing with him, I continued. Do you know what that does to a man? She whispered, I was wrong. You were cruel, I said. There's a difference. She stepped inside and closed the door behind her. I raised my voice. I said, don't come in. She dropped her bag. I have nowhere else to go. Not my problem, I said. She walked closer. I still love you. I laughed. Don't say that. I do, she insisted. I never stop thinking about you. You never stop lying either, I replied. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. Don't touch me, I said. She broke down. I ruined my life. Ruined. Yours? I deserve whatever you say. I felt my jaw tighten. You deserve exactly what life is giving you. She sank onto the couch. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I wake up screaming. Welcome to my world, I said. She looked up at me. I was blind. I chose the wrong man. Chose. Betrayal, I said. She whispered. You were always good to me. You were always good at lying, I replied. She covered her face. I'm scared. I remembered the night I stared at the ceiling and asked myself why. I remembered wanting to disappear. I remembered the bottle. I remembered the silence. You should be scared, I said. She stood up and grabbed my sleeve. Please. I shook her off. Don't beg me. I'm begging because I have no pride left, she cried. Hamza destroyed me. You destroyed yourself, I said. She dropped to her knees. Please, she sobbed. I'll do anything. My heart pounded in my ears. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. I wanted to watch her suffer. I whispered, Get up. She stayed there. I said louder, Get up and leave. She looked up at me with fear in her eyes. Where will I go? She asked. I opened the door. Anywhere but here. She crawled toward me. I can change. You had 2 years to change. I replied. I'll work, she said. I'll clean. I'll cook. You did that before? While cheating, I said. She cried harder. I'm sorry. I pointed to the hallway. Leave. She held onto my leg. Don't turn me away. I shook her hands off. Stand up. Slowly rose, shaking. I looked at her and said, The woman I loved died 2 years ago. She whispered, I'm still here. No, I said. You're just the reminder. She stepped back. You hate me. Said I don't feel anything for you. She covered her mouth. That's worse. I nodded. That's karma. She walked toward the door. I thought you'd save me, I replied. I already saved myself. She paused. I was wrong about you, I said. You were wrong about everything. She opened the door. I said, Don't. Come back. She turned and whispered, I'm afraid. I answered, So was I. She stepped into the hallway. I closed the door. My hands were shaking. My chest burned. I leaned against the wall and whispered, It's over. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes, and for the first time, I felt free. My phone buzzed late one night. I glanced at the screen. Hamza. I didn't answer immediately. My thumb hovered over the screen. Finally, I swiped. I need to see you, his message read. I frowned. Why now? I typed after everything. Please, he replied. I made mistakes. I'm sorry. I need help. I stared at the phone. The same man who laughed with Aisha. The same man who called me weak, now pleading. I typed, Meet me tomorrow. At the Café on Wu. He agreed instantly. The next day I arrived early. Café smelled like coffee and cinnamon. I took a table near the window. Shams walked in. Sunken eyes, clothes wrinkled. He avoided my gaze. Thanks for meeting me, he mumbled. I sipped my coffee. You owe me plenty, I said. I know, he whispered. I've been thinking about everything. I ruined lives. Yours, mine, and hers. I leaned back. And now you want mercy. Yes, he said, voice shaking. I regret everything. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I need help. I laughed bitterly. Help? You mean money, don't you? Yes, he admitted. I can't recover alone. I stared. At him, my chest tightened. Power surged through me. The man who humiliated me, betrayed me, and destroyed me now kneels metaphorically before me. I said slowly. Give you money, rescue you, make you feel safe again, he swallowed. Please, I'll pay back, I swear. I looked around. People were sipping coffee, laughing, unaware of my inner storm. I repeated. But what would it prove? It trembled. I'm broken. I know I don't deserve it. But I'm asking. Please. I remembered the nights I cried on the street. The nights I stared at my ceiling, thinking about ending everything. I remembered her cold eyes in the hotel room. Remembered the betrayal. The lies, the emptiness. I wanted to scream. I wanted revenge. Wanted to watch him fall like he watched me fall. I felt my hands shake. Do you know how it felt? I asked quietly. To be broken because of you? He lowered his head. No. Every day I clenched my fists. And you had the nerve to ask me for help? Yes, he whispered. I've changed. I'm sorry. I sat back and closed my eyes. Anger surged, then subsided, replaced by something unfamiliar. Calm. Zara's words echoed in my mind.
Oh.
You don't need to destroy them. Life already. Did I open my eyes? Hamza looked fragile, pathetic, a shadow of the man he used to be. You want peace? I said slowly. Or do you want revenge? He stared at me unsure. I could ruin you, I said. Publicly, financially, emotionally, you'd regret ever existing. I don't want to fight, he whispered. I laughed softly. Funny, you destroyed me, but now you plead. I know, he said. I deserve nothing. I sat. They're letting the silence stretch. My mind raced. I could feel the fire of betrayal burning again, but I also felt the calm of victory settling in. Life has already punished you, I said finally. You've lost everything. You've suffered. In ways you don't even realize yet. Hamza swallowed. I understand. I stood up. I have nothing left to give you. He nodded, eyes wide. Okay. I walked toward the door. Every step felt lighter than the last. I won't forget what you did, I said over my shoulder. But I don't need to punish you. Life will do it. He looked at me, hope and fear mixed in his eyes. I stepped outside. The sun was low, casting long shadows across the street. I felt the breeze on my face and smiled faintly. I called Zara. I'm done, I said. Good, she replied. How do you feel? Free, I said. I blocked Hamza. I blocked Aisha. I didn't need to hear from them again. I didn't need to see them suffer or pretend to help. I walked home with my chest full, my steps steady, my mind clear. I unlocked my apartment door and let it close behind me. The past stayed behind that door. I poured myself a glass of water and drank slowly. Every sip felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. I looked around my apartment at the life I built. My apartment, my car, my work, my freedom. No anger, no fear, no pain. I smiled softly. I'm not a victim anymore, I whispered. I'm not weak. I'm not broken. I'm alive. For the first time in years, I felt light, unchained. I sat by the window and watched the city move around me. People rushing, living, oblivious to the storms of life. I whispered, this is mine now. All mine, and I will never let anyone take it again. I closed my eyes and felt peace. Not because of them, not because of revenge, but because I chose myself. For the first time, truly I was free. CHP 8. I walked down streets that used to feel heavy. My steps were lighter now. I whispered, 2 years. Everything changes. I thought about everything I lost. My house, my savings, my trust, my nights of hopeless crying. I remembered the pain, the betrayal, sleepless nights on cold benches. I remembered staring at the ceiling, asking why love could hurt so much. I remembered her laughter with him. That cruel, careless laughter. I also remembered the man I became after. I said aloud, I'm stronger now. I survived. I walked toward the old hotel, the place where my world had shattered. I stopped outside and stared at the door. No fear. No anger, no heartache, I whispered. I was a fool to think it would break me forever. Inside, I saw the lobby empty and quiet. I remembered the room, the truth, the night that almost killed me emotionally. I laughed softly. Look at me. Now. I stepped outside and continued down the street. A woman behind the counter of a small shop caught my eye. Aisha, she scanned items for customers, oblivious. Her face looked tired, lined. She didn't see me. I felt nothing, not hatred, not longing, I whispered. You no longer matter. I walked past her, head held high. I said quietly, thank God I survived her. The city moved around me. Cars, pedestrians, life buzzing endlessly. I smiled faintly. I called Zara. Coffee. I asked. Always, she replied. I walked into the cafe and saw her smiling at the table. About time, she said, gesturing for me to sit. I laughed softly. I needed the city to remind me I'm alive. You look different, she said. At peace. I am, I said. I survived. I grew. I realized strength isn't revenge. She nodded. You didn't need to destroy them. Karma did. It quietly, I smiled. Exactly. And we ordered coffee and sat silently for a moment. I stared out the window at the sunset. Do you remember the man I used to be? I asked. She smiled. The one who cried alone, lost everything? I nodded. He died. I had to bury him to save myself. Zara reached across the table. And the man you became, I took her hand lightly. He's finally free, I thought. About Hamza, about Aisha, about every lie, every betrayal, and I felt nothing but calm. I whispered, I don't need revenge. I don't need closure. Life gave me the ending I deserved. Zara smiled softly. You've earned this peace. I laughed lightly. It's more than peace. It's freedom. It's being alive without fear, without bitterness. I sat back and sipped my coffee. The warmth spread through me. The city lights reflected in my eyes. I said quietly, every night I thought I'd never survive. Every night I thought my heart would shatter completely. And now, Zara asked, now I see it was all a lesson. Pain showed me who I really am. Betrayal taught me my worth. Growth showed me strength I didn't know I had. She nodded. That's the man who survived. I smiled, really smiled, for the first time in years. I thought about the future, about life, about love, about work, about every choice I had yet to make. I whispered softly, I can face it all now. No fear, no regret, no chains. The sun dipped lower. Shadows stretched across the table. I held Zara's hand lightly and whispered, thank you for being here. She smiled, always. Looked out the window at the street, at the life. Around me, at the city that never stopped moving. And I realized something important. I didn't need to follow revenge. I didn't need to confront the past. Karma wrote the ending for me. I whispered softly, and it was perfect. I leaned back, feeling the warmth of coffee, the calm of friendship, the freedom of finally letting go. I smiled again. I survived her. I survived him. I survived the pain. I survived myself. Zara laughed softly. And now, I said, I live, truly live. Nothing can touch me. Nothing can shake me. I am free. I sipped the coffee, watching the city glow under the twilight sky. I whispered one last time, I am the man who survived.